Hey, what's up? It's Jake from Nimbus DevOps. This is going to be my last coding solution for the night. It's all I've got done so far this week. So, 1.9, given two strings, S1 and S2, write code to check, I guess this is supposed to be, if S2 is a rotation of S1 using only one call to isSubstring. So I managed to do this without using one single call of isSubstring. I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah, so let's first define what rotation is. So imagine you have like a marquee, right? And it's like it says welcome, right? And as the text is scrolling, you might see this, like if it were to keep going and keep going and keep going, like it was on a like a wheel, right? A sideways wheel. So welcome. This is still, it's a rotation. It's scrolling basically. So we want to see if one string is a rotation of another. So let's start out with the word water bottle. And we'll call this S1. And then S2, let's make this true. So let's do like let's see. Let's go bottle water. That would be a rotation. Alright, so if that's a rotation, then what I could do is I could say define string rotation, pass S1, S2, and let's go, we're going to make an index, is going to be S2 dot find S1 at index 0. S1 at index 0. Okay, so S2 dot find, we're going to find inside this string the first letter, so W. So my index is going to be here. And my thought process is find the index where this word starts, and then start here and then go through it. But I think instead of going through it and then back through it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a new string with it forwards based on that logic. So then what I'll do is I will make an S equal to S2 index the length of S2, and then I'm going to concatenate that S2 0 to my index. Does that make sense? So if my index is at W, I'm basically saying, hey, start at W and go to the end of here. So it's going to take water. So this should be water. And then I'm going to add S2 at index 0, which is here, and go up to my index, which would be bottle. So my new string should just say water bottle. And then I'm going to compare that to the first one. So that's my logic. So I say if S is equal to S1, then return true. Else return false. So that makes sense, right? So let me see if this works. So let's do clear Python scratch. I should probably print and call this because that helps. String rotation passing S1 and S2. Okay, true. That worked. If I make it, let's make it out of order. So if I did like tob toll water, so the same letters, you just need, they're not in order, they're correct order. So it's false. So all right, so this works. This totally works. But I see a problem with this because like, what if it's not going right to left? What if it's going left to right? So that could be a problem. But I think if it works one way, it would work the other way because I would just be reading this one backwards. So if it was backwards, it would be back. It should be the same. It doesn't have to be a palindrome, but it should. If it works one way, it should work the other way because the characters will still be. If I started this way and go TTOB, This one is still TTOB, so it still works that way. But what if you have a different problem where you have, and I'll use a fictitious word, water W bottle. So water W bottle. So now when I do this index, this letter appears twice, and it's like, uh-oh, well, that's not going to work because there's no guarantee that it's the same this way as that way if I add a second letter. Especially if I do, if I stick the W at the end here and I have another W here, that's going to screw things up because now it's going to find this here and index slice this and make W water, and this one is water bottle W. So that'll break that for sure. So we're going to have to redo this code a little bit. And I think what we could do is like a kind of like an index, but there's two of them, so they're kind of indices. And we'll just make an array and say index for index in range length of S2 if S2 dot starts with S1 at index 0 comma index. So this is just finding each element in S2 that matches the first character. So it's going to be like, oh, well, I have two elements. So if I do don't do them consecutively. If I do the water W bottle, this would be water W bottle. So it should return this index and this index in an array. So those are my indices. So that's what I'm trying to find. So I'll even put a comment there in case you're confused. This is find each element of S2 that matches S1 at index 0. Okay, so that's my first thing. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to create a new string from each S2 index with slices and then compare to S1. So basically, if there's two indexes, then this will say do this if this starts with this. So if there's only one, it's only going to find one. And then I'm going to create, if there's two, if it finds two, it's going to create two numbers here in this array. And then I'm going to make two different strings starting with these two different indexes. And then I'll compare both strings to S1, and one of them should match. So that's the idea. So then I'll say for I in indices, that's a word I don't use every day. Let's make a third string. S3 is going to be S2, and then I would be 0, right? And then the length of S2. And then we'll just add S2 0 to I, so 0 to 0. And then say if S3 is exactly equal to S1, then return true. And if it's not, well, return false. So hopefully this makes sense. So it's going to make an S3 from water W bottle. And if that didn't match, it's going to make an S3 from W bottle water, or whatever permutation of this is true. And it'll just make those two strings and then compare them and be like, hey, are these the same? And then that would be how that would work. So now I should be able to run this. Uh-oh, did you mean starts with? That's exactly what I meant. All right, there we go. True. Okay, so that's true. That worked. Water W bottle, water W bottle. So if this is true, then they are a rotation of each other. See, and you could even do like is is S2 a string rotation of S1 question mark, and then return this. And you could do like, yes, it is. It's true. If I take this off and I put the W over here, it's going to find this one first and go, is it a permutation or is it a rotation? And the answer is no, it's not. Even though they have all the same letters, they're just not in the right order. So there you go. So that works. So then the other thing you would need to do is to go, well, what if it's a permutation, but it's backwards, right? We talked about that before. So this would be fine, but what I'd want to do here is something like to look and see if they're like something like let's see here. Let's do like if let's make a response, and then we'll call string rotation passing S1 and S2, and then we'll say if res is true, then print this is let's do S2 is a string rotation of S1. And then if it's not, then we'll say okay, well, let's flip it. So S2 is going to be reverse string, and then we're going to reset res string rotation S1 S2, and then say if res is true, then print S2 is a reverse string rotation of S1. Print S2. Yeah. And if it's not, then print S2 is not a string rotation of S1. That should make sense, right? So if it's water W bottle, oh my gosh, can I even, okay, and then this one is ELTTOBW RETAW. So this is a string rotation. I just spelled water W bottle backwards, kind of. WATERWBOTTLE. Yeah. So this is a string. It's like it's a palindrome, which technically in this case is a string rotation. It's just a reverse string rotation. So let's see if that works. S2 is a reverse string rotation of S1. And this would even be true if I took TLE and I said water W BOT TLE. So it's a palindrome that's rotating. S2 is a reverse string rotation of S1. So this, I think, is the most complicated way of solving this problem. We solved it the first way, and then we solved it for a way where there could be multiple indexes where that could be true. And then I was like, well, yeah, but what if it's the same, but it's like a rotating palindrome of S1? Then we would need to account for that. So that was just a quick down and dirty of how to do, just flip it around and basically do the same thing. So yeah, that is it for, what was this, 1.9? I did not use isSubstring. I just kind of did some other stuff, but if you got any questions, let me know. And if not, then this is it for the day for me. So I will be back when I solve all the 1.7, 1.8 matrix problems. I've already kind of solved them. I just I didn't rotating matrix. I have a solution that works, but I don't like it. So I need to find a better way to do it. So yeah, let me know if you got any questions, and if not, I'll see you later.